Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids, where a very rare event has just reappeared in the game. It is none other than the reward calendar, which is kicking off properly on the 9th of February, which is just in 3 days, basically coinciding with the brand new fusion. In fact, there she is in the background, and running then until the 5th of March, so over 25 different days. And also, really interesting, we do have some voting here, which I actually didn't realize when I was going to make this video. I didn't think it would show us the breakdown. This is pretty much what I would have expected, but there are a couple of really interesting things to know about. And yeah, particularly about this relic here, which is certainly, it was before absolutely terrible, still is kind of terrible, but it does have a very interesting interaction, which we'll cover in a second. First of all, let's go over the general reward calendar stuff. Let's see, this is the behind the scenes info that Plarium has given the content creator. So let's go through this, see if there's anything useful here. Take a look at the calendar, and then we'll talk about the relic choices. Though it, to be honest, appears probably it's too late for your vote to really make much difference. It's pretty much locked in, isn't it? So, oh well, let's see what they have to say though. So, hey folks, the reward calendar is back. We've upgraded it with a greater number of guaranteed rewards and an expanded pool that includes gemstones, epic and legendary gear, and more valuable goodies. You'll be able to claim up to 25 rewards from the reward calendar, with their first reward available on February 9th and the final reward available on March 5th. Just as the previous time, some rewards can only be claimed on the day they were released, and some are claimable even if you missed logging in on that particular day that they were released on. Typically the really big rewards. So, I mean, I think a good example would be the actual relic. I guess we get the actual relic on the final day, the 25th. The reward calendar will probably be around for a couple of days after it ends, and you'll still be able to grab that. I don't know, maybe there's probably like 4 or 5, maybe one per chunk here that might be a guaranteed reward. We don't know for sure, but usually the bigger, better rewards are gonna be basically permanently available. But there's gonna be lots of nice stuff, like I would expect, quite like a lot of gems, some gear, energy, things like that. Maybe some skill tomes as well could be in there. That might be you log in on that day or you miss it. So nothing you can really do except log in every single day just to be sure to get everything. Oh, here we go. In fact, fantastic. You have until the 8th of March to claim the guaranteed rewards if you miss them. So yeah, again, I expect probably about 5 or so might be guaranteed, and you'll have a few extra days to grab them, the relic being the big one. But yeah, it's worth logging in every day anyway, just for some free stuff. Why not? It's not going to be so good that you need to stress yourself about it. Like if you're going to miss some, it's fine. But if you've got the chance to grab them, might as well grab free stuff. Let's go. The reward calendar itself will be launched on the 6th of February, that's today, to start the voting process. So that's all that's happening at the moment with the reward calendar. You can see it in game at no rewards until the 9th of February. This is just live for a couple of days to vote for the relic. Whole community will be given their vote up until March 1st and decide which one of the 3 relics will become the ultimate reward in the reward calendar. And these are the relics. Feel free to join the action, discuss the relic options, speculate on which one will be the best choice, and ask your viewers about their preference. Well, I think the preference is probably, I don't know, you guys let me know. Is it different from this? I'd expect this is fairly standard. These are the 3 relics. You've got the Chimera Gorecrescent relic, which gives you main stat attack, secondary stat crit damage, and then maybe final stat speed, though it's really hard to actually get it that high rank at the moment. Got good damaging gem slots, and whenever you kill an enemy, your next attack does more damage. Actually scales up pretty well. Then from the clan group, crit damage main stat, then attack and HP. This is, crit damage is a more general stat. I guess that's one of the big differences. Gorecrescent is really strong for attack-based damage dealers. In fact, let's look at them over here. Let's actually look at them. What do I actually have? Let's go, because I think that's interesting. So we go to this, and let's take a look. So none of them are in the standard group. Here we are, Gorecrescent from the Chimera group. I've got 5 of them, though I haven't put the 5th one on, but you can see they're actually on pretty good champions. This is probably why it's winning the vote. I've got one on Rotus, I've got one on Baron, Raphael, Tetsuya is a faction unity, some really top tier champions here. It's a really good, one of the better accessible damage relics as well. And I think certainly getting up to +9 isn't too bad. You're getting a big chunk of attack, a little bit of crit damage, and at that point, I'm doing 30% more damage on my next attack after killing an enemy. The downside of this relic, two downsides. Number one, very much not limited to, but really, really prioritized for attack-based damage dealers, right? That main stat attack is doing nothing for someone who's not an attack main stat damage dealer. So you really want it on an attack-based champion. And also, you need to actually kill people. So it's very strong for like Arena, Faction War waves, Cursed City waves, Grim Forest, Doom Tower waves, anything like that. Even bosses with minions. But if you're against a single target boss, or indeed any boss, even not single target, let's say like Hydra, but Hydra doesn't technically die, it just changes heads, it doesn't count as a kill, you're not going to be able to trigger this extra damage bonus against most bosses. So that's the big downside. And yeah, I mean, if you're just trying to one-shot enemies in Arena, like wipe out their whole team with a single AoE, let's say like a Baron Skypiercer, good example. I've got this on him for more so for Faction Wars. It's great. They're really strong. But yeah, if I'm just trying to wipe them out with a single AoE, if I'm trying to kill their whole team in one go, then they should all be dead with my strategy before I even get to use this effect. That's a minor downside. But yeah, I think it's a really, really good relic. Very strong. And for the other damage relics that you're going for, if we remove this, like typically you're looking for mythical relics as being a step up. You're typically looking at the Arethi Coronet is another really good example, which is very different, where this one is similar stats, but now it's some accuracy, but it's giving you more damage when you place a debuff. This is really strong for longer fights, so boss fights. This is for attack-based damage dealers who do have debuffs, obviously, and it's better for boss fights because you can get up to a 30% damage bonus the whole time, which is amazing. That's your alternative. And then I'd say the Cat's Gaze is the other big alternative, but that's simply not available anymore. So like if I didn't have these three Cat's Gaze, I probably have an Arethi's. Oh, sorry, I'm blocking one of them. My bad. I probably have an Arethi's Coronet for sure on Ninja. But yeah, like these two fellas over here, they might well be running with the old Gorecrescent instead. So Gorecrescent, very, very good option. Now, our other options, let's see. We've got the Essence Quencher. So the Essence Quencher, I have 3 of them, but only 2 of them on. I haven't upgraded them as much. I don't think it's as good. But it gives you crit damage main stat. It does give a bit of attack, but it's a fairly small amount. It doesn't really matter. And again, the HP is going to be tiny. It doesn't really matter. Slightly leans towards attack, but again, it's kind of irrelevant. You can kind of ignore it. Whereas damage increases by 20% of the target's current turn meter, and it cannot be increased by more than 10%, or 5% against bosses. So again, you can upgrade this a little bit. So for example, at +9, which is fairly doable, you're getting a 14% damage boost potentially, or a 7% damage boost against bosses. So it should be reasonably easy to hit that damage boost because, you know, if you're looking for a 7% damage boost, and you can take 20% of the turn meter, it's going to be pretty consistent against bosses that you actually reach that 7% cap, as it were. So yeah, as you can see, it's a much smaller bonus. It's a much smaller damage bonus, but it's happening pretty much. You're getting some sort of damage bonus most of the time, which is grand. It's good. The crit damage main stat, I think, is the biggest appeal. This makes it good for every type of damage dealer. So I've got a Narses, who's a HP-based damage dealer, and Staltus, who's a defense-based damage dealer. This is a really good damage relic that doesn't have attack as the main stat, so you are a bit more flexible with where it goes. I think that's the biggest strength. So yeah, it's not a bad relic. I mean, again, it works against bosses. It's a bit weaker, but it does work. It works for waves. It works everywhere. I think it's a great general relic, and clan relics are a little bit harder to come by. You're mostly looking at Siege to get those, and a little bit from the clan shop. But they're a bit trickier to get. I mean, you can just see from... Well, actually, I've got about as many Chimera legendaries, but I'm doing in Tier 8 Siege, and we win pretty much all of them. So I've got one of the biggest influxes of these relics. I'm still a little bit... only just about equal to Chimera. And I've used some of these for food as well, to be fair, whereas not many of these for food. Anyway, I think it's good, but I do think Gorecrescent is a bit better overall. And I think this is a really nice event, by the way. I didn't even say this, but I should make this clear. Obviously, for me, a late game, well, not late game, an end game player, content creator, I've clearly, as you can see, a lot of relics. This free relic really makes no difference whatsoever for me. That being said, I think it will make a huge difference to new players and newer players who cannot get these relics. And I think newer players are going to have a lot of really good attack-based damage dealers that would love a relic. They might have a Cheshire Cat or a Tholan Foulbeard or something like that. Yeah, so I think this is really, really nice for them. I think it's really good. And then finally, this is the most interesting one. We have the collective. So again, it's crit damage main stat, this time with HP and speed. So, you know, leans a little bit towards HP damage dealers, but that crit damage main stat can really be used on any crit-based damage. The wearer does 1% more damage per buff on them, but it has this huge downside that it removes all buffs from the wearer at the end of the turn. Oh, actually, something we haven't looked at is how these scale up. You can see Gorecrescent is slightly weighted towards level 6, but not a massive amount. You're still getting a pretty darn strong effect, like a 30% bigger hit on your next attack after killing an enemy is pretty huge for wave clear and getting through faction wars, etc. Essence Quencher, no weighting towards the top end at all. It's equally weighted between every level, so it's a lovely budget relic that's working well, even without crazy investment. That's cool. This one, unfortunately, is highly weighted towards level 6. Upgrading from level 5 to level 6 for 2% more damage per buff is equally good to upgrading from level 1 to level 5. Getting all these others is 2%, and then you get another 2% going up to level 6. So this relic is massively weighted towards level 6. I don't have any level 6 relics. So some people do. Some people definitely do. I'm certainly getting there. I did actually whale out on one of the packs for Basalt. I was just in a mood one day, and I went on a shopping spree. I bought a lot of kitchen goodies, and I bought some Basalt and Raid. What I got like a new frying pan, lovely. Got a new stainless steel frying pan. I got a nice fish spatula. I think Oxo Good Grips fish spatula or something. A metal spatula for using on my new stainless steel frying pan. Lovely. Lovely look. Anyway, we're going off piste here. But yeah, it's very weighted towards the high, which is a bummer. So you're starting at 1%. You can get an extra 2 and then an extra 2. So an extra 4. So you could be doing 5% more damage per buff on you. So yeah, it's going to give you a really big upfront burst. But then removing all your buffs is absolutely crippling. However, now, I haven't tested this yet to confirm myself, but apparently, I don't think I have any of them equipped even. Yeah, which, yeah. Yeah, I don't have them even leveled up or equipped. They're just there. But apparently, if you have, let's see, I've got Raglan in it right now. If you have, apparently, the total guard buff, and I don't know if this is a bug, a mistake, or if it's intended, I don't know, but allegedly, if you have a stack of total guard, this total guard will actually block the relic from removing your buffs. So you could be sat there with 10 buffs, but 1 total guard, and it won't be removed. I also think bosses ignore total guard. If I am not mistaken, bosses ignore it. Let's see, here we go. We've got some buffs. So, in theory, bosses ignore total guard. So, in theory, for a boss fight, you could potentially put someone with 4 pieces of total guard. Let's say, I don't know, I could put a Titus at 4 pieces of total guard, or Mercurial for total guard. Then I could layer him up with 10 different buffs. And yeah, he'd potentially be getting a 50% damage boost. It's an interesting idea. Is it as strong as going like Merciless and a lens of intangibility? No, it's not, but it is interesting. And like I said, I don't know if it's intended or not. I genuinely don't know if they're intending for that to be how it works or what. I mean, it would make sense for this to have some way to work because it is so punitive. Funny enough, I do think it was kind of designed for Titus, but then of course he's so broken for clan bosses and bosses in general, no one ever does it. But he's got this interesting ability where if an ally has no buffs and their HP is lower than 100%, he gives them ally protection, increase attack, increase speed, and 40% turn meter. I think the relic was pretty much designed almost exclusively to be used with Titus. But it's, yeah, obviously you just build him for damage for his A2 because it's broken and you never actually use him as a support. So yeah, do you even have Titus? Again, like if you're a newer player, he's a Void Legendary. You're never getting the guy. So yeah. Anyway, all that being said, those are my thoughts on all of these. I think in last place is certainly the collective. It's from Faction Wars Hard. For a new player, you won't be able to get this for months till you get into Faction Wars Hard. It will literally take you months and months and months to get there. The only way to get it as of now. But it is rubbish. It's very, very high investment. Like, it really wants to be level 6. It's difficult to use. You need loads of buffs, and the penalty is absolutely punishing. And we have this unclear interaction with Mercurial and Total Guard. Is it supposed to work like that or not? We just don't know right now. Essence Quencher, I would put in second. It's a bit... I'm putting Gorecrescent first, even though it's probably the easier one to get. But Essence Quencher, a bit tricky to get. Lovely general relic. I think this would be a fine pick as well. It's good for every damage dealer that's crit-based in basically every bit of content. But it's just not phenomenal. It's just good. Budget option. But I do think Gorecrescent is the best. I think this will have the biggest impact for most players. For sure. So I'm actually going to be picking the Gorecrescent. Votecaster final, that's fine. I am going to vote for Gorecrescent. Because, yeah, I just think for new players starting the game, I think this is huge. I think it's absolutely huge, right? Slap this on, as I said, your Tholen or your Cheshire Cat. It's going to make campaign farming smoother and easier. Minotaur farming, all the dungeon farming, faction wars, etc. There's going to be loads of champions you can run this on, and it's going to feel great. So yeah, I think Gorecrescent's really solid, so that's the one I'm going for. So yeah, there we go. Big old video to say I agree with most of you. But yeah, there we are. But yeah, let me know what you think about all of this. Let me know if you have tested any of the collective stuff, or what you even think about it. I personally quite dislike the high investment relics. Yeah, I don't know. I think getting it up to level 16, or for getting it up to plus 18 to the 6-star stage, you're getting loads of stats from it. The effect is getting stronger anyway. It's just the fun of having a maxed out relic. I don't really feel like we need to have half the power of the relic almost locked behind the max level. Same thing with blessings. It's obviously something Plarium loves doing, and it's something I don't love about the game at all. I think it's the same sort of issue with blessings. Like, for example, Ward of the Fallen on Corrosa, amazing, but it only really works at 6 stars. There's loads of blessings that just are kind of useless unless they're 6 stars. It just makes the game a little bit boring, is my opinion, when your options are cut down because they're designed to make you spend money. Anyway, something that's not designed to make you spend money is this. It's just log in, get free relic. That's great. And log in for other rewards. Guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and my couple of little rants and tangents along the way. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.